Problems with self-checkout lanes. Are self-checkout lanes good? Does it really save your time? Does it save the business money? All of these questions need to be addressed if self-checkout lanes are worth using or not. As for me, I don't like to use self-checkout lanes when I buy a lot of things. Sometimes I buy as many as 100 to 200 items because I like to buy in bulk, so I make less trips to the supermarket. If you try to scan all of these items, it can be quite laborious or labor intensive. In such a case, it is much easier to use a human cashier with a conveyor belt. It is much faster also. However, if you're buying just a few items, a self-checkout lane might be faster. Self-checkout stands don't save time when you have a lot of items, and it is a lot of work to scan a lot of items. Self-checkout lanes aren't always faster because older customers will have problems using them. They may need assistance to use the machines, and that could take up more time. You will need more employees to assist people on using the machines. When you have a human cashier, you don't have this problem. Another problem you have with self-checkout lanes is theft. What if the customer is dishonest and does not scan all the items that he or she has in their cart? This is a valid question. I worked in retail when I was younger, and I know every customer is not honest. Shoplifting is a major problem for retailers. More than 15% of the merchandise you sell gets stolen. Someone could be buying 30 items and they may scan 28 items. If this happens frequently, it will eat up all the savings you get from not hiring a human cashier. In the long run, it will not save the business a lot of money either. We had ATMs in banking since the 1980s, yet we still have bank tellers, despite all the hype about self-checkout lanes and how they will replace all cashiers. There are still a lot of problems with it, and the layout of the self-checkout stand is not efficient. The conveyor belt system with a human cashier is the most efficient system for a cashier stand. Plus you have a person who has experience, and they can do the job much faster than you. The idea of having you do the cashier work just doesn't make sense to me. Sometimes after work, when I go shopping for groceries, I don't want to do more work. I'm not getting any incentive for scanning my own items and bagging it. This is why I go to the cashier. It makes my life easier. This idea may seem good in theory, but in practice it isn't good. The store would have to hire someone to assist people to use these machines, in addition to watching people so they don't steal. I worked in retail when I was young, and I would check the security camera from time to time. There's no way you can monitor a security camera 24/7 unless you hire a few people. Wouldn't it be easier to just use a human cashier? The cashier is being productive. After all, the people who sit in the camera room aren't productive. As for saving money, you have more people not scanning items to give themselves a 5-finger discount. I could safely assume the amount of theft that goes on with these machines are very high, because it is very tempting for the average person to not scan items to give themselves a discount. I'm sure it wouldn't save the businesses that use these machines to save money in the long run. It would be smarter to hire 5 cashiers in a big store. You could pay them $10 to $13 an hour, and you can bet that more than $50 to $65 in merchandise will be stolen in 1 hour using a self-checkout system. In conclusion, self-checkouts don't save time. They don't save money, and they're not convenient. It is a way of getting customers to do their own work and the store to save money. That's why it's called a self-checkout stand.